Okay, this is 3.2 through 3.3 practice problems. So this is question 5, and the first thing we notice is that this is x fifth, which means there's 5 answers here of x being a 0. So our answer will look x equals, and then there's going to be 5 values. So another thing, we have to find the greatest common factor, which just by looking at it, I can tell it is x. And when we remove that, that'll be 2x fourth plus 11x third, or cubed, plus 16x squared plus 15x plus 36. And by dividing x, that means one of x's 0 values is 0 itself. And then now we use synthetic division to get this to a quadratic. So we go based off of our positive 36. That doesn't matter. This is our p-value. On the side, I'll write p equals, and all of the multiples of 36 are going to be possible values. But typically it's only going to be the first 3 values. So we always have plus or minus 1. We also have like plus or minus 2. We have plus or minus 3. And there are many more, but it's typically the first 3, like I said. So a quick trick to check if it's 1 is by adding all of them together. Now, I can tell because all of them are positive, it's not going to work. It would only work if some of them were negative and they equal 0. So I'm going to use synthetic division, and I'll try -3, because why not? We'll ignore the x's for now. I'll write our plus here, and then we drop our 2. 2 times -3 is -6. 11 minus 6 is 5. -3 times 5 is 15. -15. 16 minus 15 is 1. 1 times -3, -3. 15 minus -3 is 12. 12 times -3 is -36. And we get a 0, which means x plus 3 is a factor of this. And because it worked well for one time, why not try it again? So -3, we do that. We drop our 2 again. This is -6, -1. This becomes +3, 4 minus 12, and we get another 0, which now means x equals -3 mult 2. And those are our next 2 values of zeros or x's. Now, this is 2x squared minus x plus 4, which sadly, it would be much easier if this has a double bubble, but it actually doesn't, which means we have to go to quadratic formula, which we have -b squared plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And with this being our a, our b, and our c, we can write it as 1 plus or minus the square root of -1 squared minus 4ac all over 2a, which simplifies to 1 plus or minus 1. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 2 is 36. No, sorry, 32. All under 4, over 4, gosh. Then we have 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 31 over 4, which, because it's a negative square root, we can take a square root of negative 1 out, and we get 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 30, positive 31. Whoops, I'll erase that. I over 4. And that is our final two values, and that is because we have a plus or minus, which means 1 plus the square root of 31i over 4 and 1 minus the square root and I over 4. So you write this here. And that's our answer.